A quick 1 minute word from our sponsor of today's episode, the Altus Summit.
Hi guys, my name is Karina Neff and I am the Altus architect. But what is Altus? Everyone's asking. Altus is a Latin word and it is significance, high, deep, and noble. And what that word does is inspires everything we've done for the Altus Collective. The Altus Collective is for building service contractors, built by building service contractors, and it is allowing us to engage with intention, empower with education, and elevate with influence. But one thing is very important, that scalability, that height. That's what we're doing at the Altus Summit. We're bringing thought leaders into this space so that they can share with you how they've successfully scaled their business. We're talking about some of the companies in the US that are the smartest, sharpest, that have successfully scaled from 5 million to 82 million, from 82 million to 150 million. You want to be at this room. You want to be in this event. Do not miss your chance to attend the Altus Summit in Chicago in June.
So, I want to tell you about a scene that plays out every single day across this industry, probably several times a day, possibly as you listen to this. A technician shows up at a home. He's professional, knowledgeable. He has the equipment, the training, the certifications, the patches on his shirt. He knows his stuff. He really does. And then the client, let's say it is a woman, asks a simple question. So what caused the stain? And something happens to that technician. Something deep and ancient stirs within him. A switch flips, and what follows is a 14-minute explanation of fiber construction, pH balance, the chemistry, the history of synthetic carpet, and at least one comment about how most people don't understand what a wicking problem actually is. The client's nodding. She stopped listening around minute 2. She has a dentist appointment. She has things to do. She just wants the stain gone. She asked the question. Maybe she didn't know what else to ask. This is Take 5 with Cleanfax. Real talk, real lessons in just 5 minutes. I want to share a disclaimer right now. I am speaking to the fellas here. You ladies already know this topic inside and out. You live this topic. But feel free to stick with us here because you may need a good laugh. Today we're talking about the fine art, or rather, the very common disaster of over-explaining to your clients, also known as mansplaining. Now look, I'm not here to throw technicians under the bus. The knowledge is real, they're smart. The passion is real, they care. This industry actually requires a surprising amount of technical expertise, and most people have no idea. You know the difference between encapsulation and hot water extraction. You understand drying science. You can read a moisture map. That is legitimately impressive. The problem is your client does not need the seminar. She needs her living room back by Thursday. So that term that's floating around out there, mansplaining. And before anyone clicks off, just hang with me here because this is genuinely useful for your business. The concept, stripped of all the cultural noise around it, is simply this: over-explaining something to someone who did not ask for the full explanation, often with great confidence, and often completely missing that the other person stopped caring about what you're talking about 4 sentences ago. And in the cleaning and restoration world, we have a slight tendency to go in that direction, to explain and explain more. Picture this. Technician is on a water damage job. The homeowner is understandably stressed and asks, is the floor going to be okay? The normal human answer, we're going to get readings today and have a much better idea within 24 hours. It looks manageable. The technician answer, though, and you know this technician, you may be this technician, says something like this. Well, that depends. See, we've got engineered hardwood here, and the subfloor beneath it looks like it may be OSB, which absorbs differently than plywood. Now, the moisture content right now is reading about 19%. Typically, we want to see that get down to around 8 or 10%. I mean, really? Do we do that? And of course, those numbers I shared, don't quote me on those. But we think about what we tell people, the details, the science. She's left the room. She's gone. She's texting her sister. The sister is also, by the way, not interested in OSB subfloor dynamics. Here's the real issue, and this is the part that actually matters to your business. Over explaining does not build trust. It accidentally signals that you are not sure the client can handle a simple answer. And clients, these are people, pick up on that. Even if they cannot articulate why, they walk away, maybe mentally, maybe physically, from that interaction feeling a little talked at rather than taken care of. The best service professionals in any field, they share one skill. They translate. They take complex knowledge and they give the client just enough, the right amount to feel informed and confident, not overwhelmed, not lectured, informed. If you cannot explain what you just did in 2 minutes or less, you've not simplified it enough. Your client wants three things: what happened, what are you going to do about it, and whether it's going to be okay or not. That's it. Everything else is bonus content that very few people want to order. So here's your Take 5 with Cleanfax challenge for this week. On your next job, before you open your mouth to explain something, ask yourself one question. Did they ask for this level of detail? If the answer is no, give them the headline, not the full article. If they want more, they will ask. And when they ask, that is a fantastic sign because now you have an engaged client who is genuinely curious. That is your moment to shine. So, know your stuff. Absolutely. Know your stuff. Be the expert in the room. But remember, the goal is a client who feels taken care of, not a client who feels like they just sat through a continuing education seminar they did not register for. The stain is gone. The floor is dry. She is happy. That's the win. Run with that.